Good day to you, one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again, hence the ultimate mug. Oh, it's perfect for drinks. Anyway, today I'm going to be reacting to this awesome video in which Miley Cyrus talks candidly about the various ways in which her voice, speaking and singing, has changed over the years. I get asked a lot if my voice has changed too, and I think some of the points she raises are thought to be of interest by my producer, Jenny May Finn, who sent me this, and I'm going to react to it after I've done the theme tune. All right. Justin Hawkins rides again. Another thing people ask me is, why don't you just record the theme tune instead of singing it every time? But I feel like it's evolving, so it's, you know, it's just nice to keep playing it, isn't it? Anyway, my producer sent me this video of Miley Cyrus discussing the quite dramatic change in her speaking and singing voice across her life. She refers to quite a number of reasons, and it's quite interesting. I'm going to have a look, and I'll see if any of it resonates avec moi. Oh yeah.
It's a heavy voice.
It's a heavy voice.
You didn't always have a heavy voice, though. Like when my kids love Hannah Montana, by the way.
Yeah.
So when I would watch, your
I used to love Hannah Montana as well. It's brilliant.
voice was different.
It's definitely changed. I kind of learned a lot about the voice and how our experiences affect our voice. I had a surgery in November on my voice. I had something called Reiki's edema, which when my doctor told me
I've never heard of this one.
about it, he said, no one shy ever has this. This is for abuse of the voice. This is for people that talk way too fucking much. And you
can get polyps on your vocal cords. I had one of those as well. And similarly, they told me that the people that suffer with the you know, the growth that I had tend to be, you know, blokes that work on the market in the East End of London. They didn't specify the East End of London, but, you know, apples and pears, come on, get your apples, it's good value, or whatever it is they say. That wasn't a London accent. That was the Yorkshire market that I was referring to.
usually, this happens when you're like in your 60s or 70s.
How do I not have that?
I don't know. I don't know. Mine, I think, honestly, really, I started touring, you know, at probably 12 or 13, and not only was the adrenaline that you have after a show, it's not really the singing that affects your voice as much, it's afterwards. You're totally on, and then it's really hard to get that sleep. You stay up.
Yeah, so I think she's referring to the come down, isn't it? After the excitement and the what's it called? You know, the pageantry of the show and everything. You lay in your bunk on the bus and you're going, that was brilliant. And then before you know it, it's the next day and you haven't slept. But she might be talking about partying here, actually. There's something that a lot of you know, opera singers do, apparently, because, you know, the patrons of that type of performing arts, they'll be expecting some sort of address with the singers that they're sponsoring, and so they're often obliged to speak to them after a show, even if they've got another one coming up the next day or next afternoon or whatever. And so they do like special warm down exercises before they have these obligatory encounters with folk that are bankrolling the whole endeavour. So, and I could talk a bit more about what that actually involves, because I do happen to know what they do, and it's quite interesting, but I'll save it for another episode. All right.
Talking all night. Later, the talking all night turned into smoking all night, and now this is kind of where we're at. We got some dirt on her. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I love the way she's just completely open about this. It's a misuse of her gift, really, but I love the way her voice has developed. I think she's an amazing singer now.
The voice can be like a face. It collects wrinkles and it tells a story. If you look at yourself and you go, oh, I didn't have this until this trip. You know, I sat out in the sun or I partied too much or whatever. Your voice does the same thing. It collects dirt.
But there's something very distinctive about a voice you earned, you know?
It's true. It's kind of like, you know, when you see somebody and I think especially being like a female in the industry, I think growing up and changing and like kind of that there is such a kind of stigma with aging. It's a very kind of scary thing as a female in the industry. And I've thought about it a lot and thought about my voice. I actually had someone, when I was doing an interview a couple months ago, said, you know, she sounds like she stayed up all night smoking too many darts. And I said, well, I fucking have.
How many pop singers do you see with this attitude? You don't see many of them. She is awesome. Wait, something just landed on me. What was that? Oh, God.
Over the last year, I noticed a really big change in my voice, kind of a heaviness to it. And I experienced some heavy things. And so I feel like it is a reflection. It is kind of a scar in a sense. But also just by having the surgery was kind of a gift also, because I was able to understand my instrument. No one ever explained that to me, you know.
That's a good point as well. One of the things about having a procedure on your vocal cords is that whilst it's scary in the first instance and you think, oh my God, if this goes wrong, I'll never be able to sing or even talk again. But actually what happens is during the aftercare, they actually educate you as to how that thing works, you know, and what it is that went wrong in the first place. And it gives you an opportunity to preserve it in a different way. Not everybody takes that opportunity. Some people just carry on, you know, the way they always did and then end up having to have another procedure later. But it sounds to me like Miley Cyrus has basically taken that information on board. And hopefully that means many more years of touring for her.
But no one taught me about how do you have longevity? You know, you are in here with athletes all the time, and recovery days are the most important days. I didn't get recovery days. That was not important for someone that was making so much capital for such a big corporation. You know, the off days are days that money's not coming in, and I definitely probably didn't get the training that I needed to say, hey, you know what, I don't want to do this till I'm 15. I want to do this till I'm 80. And that wasn't always considered. Definitely not complaining. It gave me an amazing launch pad for everything I'm doing now, but I hear it.
It's not necessarily a bad thing though, is it? I think those sort of the fragility in a voice is the thing that gives it a lot of the emotion some of the time anyway. You know, it's I definitely prefer listening to her sing now than I did when she was Hannah Montana, and I was, you know, in close proximity to a young child that enjoyed watching that, and I had to, you know, that's one of the things that I actually enjoyed watching with her. But I think now I think she's just a better singer for it. Every time I've covered her, you know, exploits, I just think she's doing a great job. And part of it is the heaviness of the voice, I think.
Odd to be working that much and be a young girl.
The balance it trained me to have is something that I don't think you are going to get taught any other way besides jumping in the deep end of the pool and hoping you know how to swim. That's the only way. There was no way I could have prepared for the amount of balance I would have to learn to kind of teeter, because, you know, at one point, again, it went from, it was school, then it went from, you know, how much can I actually smoke and still play a teenage superstar on the Disney Channel?
I think I've finally found the vocalist that smokes as many as me. That's brilliant. Kindred spirits. I've told you.
What's the answer to that question?
More than you would fucking think. I remember one time when, and I don't smoke anymore, and I'm sober.
How long have you been sober
but
for?
I've been sober since pretty much the vocal surgery kind of did it for me, because I just learned so much about the effects, which again, you're just not taught. It's not really the drinking, it's staying up all night. You know, once you have your drink, you end up smoking. And I've become the face of a lot of things, kind of against my will, I guess, from my opinions. When you're someone in my position, your opinion becomes your identity, and it also becomes kind of almost like you kind of become this like preacher, or you become this, you know, they don't really let you just always have your own opinion. So I've decided to start telling people I live my own lifestyle. Alcohol was never my problem. There was other things that I end up, you know, I like to go up.
Yeah, but the thing that makes you go up, I think, is also the thing that enables you to drink more. And then if you're drinking and you're doing the up stuff and then you're smoking, that is a deadly combination. my friend Jason Hawkins has had to cancel shows after that sort of behaviour. And cancelling shows is the thing that breaks your heart as a singer. It's the worst experience because you're letting down the people that enable you to have this amazing lifestyle and this, your creative endeavour and your livelihood depends on your fans. And when you let them down, it's the worst feeling in the world. But the trouble is when you have that enthusiasm for things that make you go up, it's really difficult to control it. So, being sober, that's the best option, really.
Now, just avoid really drinking because I like to wake up at 110%. But it's never really been my problem, and I could see myself having a drink of celebration in the future. But I get so fucking hungover now that I'm like, why would I celebrate with like just feeling like a volcano's erupted in my brain, So it's really just a personal preference, but it's definitely not anything that I promote in. I think it's a lifestyle I think everyone should experiment. It's a good time and you learn a lot of things about yourself and the people around you. But
wow, that could be interpreted as a slightly irresponsible thing to say, but I mean, it's a reality, isn't it? Everybody should experiment and find out what they want. Not just talking about, up stuff and all that, but just in life. And it's in this context, it seems irresponsible, but I do think that's a good message.
Now I'm watching, I have younger siblings and they're going through that, and I don't know how my mom did it with me because it's scary. I didn't hurt myself beyond repair in my experiences. I survived.
Wow. She's a rock and roll survivor. It's brilliant. I love those. Wow, it's really interesting stuff. And I think not just talking about, the ravages that her lifestyle has had on her voice, but I think she's talking about her voice being the changes that she's experienced in her voice, representing, the tribulations and trials and challenges of her personal life. It's just really inspiring stuff. Yet again, Miley Cyrus, so impressive. All right, nice one. Justin Hawkins rides again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and watch one of these two videos. I'll see you guys on the ice. Nice one, love you, and adieu.